What's going on, y'all? What's going on? Test, test, test. Let me know how we sounding. Let me know how we sounding. So we might have some action today, y'all. Yesterday was a little bit of Chop City. Right, US30 was earnings share all day. Then we had price retrace here. This was London session. And then we just ranged it all day yesterday. Gold, same thing. Right, this was London session yesterday. Did a quick drop, but then when it did the retracement, failed to hold as resistance, so we never took that setup. And last night it did a drop, held it at resistance. So now we're about to see if we can maintain a hold this right back where we left off earlier. So give a look on the bigger time frame. Let's see what was talked about yesterday. Let's get rid of all this shit right here. Right, so what was this Wednesday? Right, so Monday, Tuesday, we got the lower low. Wednesday, price retrace. So what we're looking for today is not only for us to maintain as low as resistance, but a new lower low to get made. So we're looking for today on gold. We do got another movement to the nice, it's a nice rejection right there. Yeah, it did that rejection that quick. That was a big ass rejection. Right there. GU also did a move I was looking for yesterday. GU was the only one that really did anything, but they were still super laggy, super choppy. But yeah, we got a couple setups we're looking at. I like this gold setup right here. It rejected quick as hell, though. Literally, it rejected quick as hell. And we're looking for GJ. And this is why I didn't talk about looking for sales here yesterday, because I was saying this is still the last line of defense. Yesterday prior, it rejected this level. Remember, yesterday was talking about before AMB, price pushed up, so how we need to hold continual support. We failed to do so. And then during the York session, again, you see when the volume kicked in, it's hitting them, it just comes back up here. So that's why I was saying we still don't want to look for sales here yet, because if we hold this level of support, we are still bullish. And then we'll go to the bigger time frame. We can see prices yet again did not close or hold that level as resistance, so we are still bullish. Right, so we're going to look and see if today we can see high get made. So we're going to be looking for GJ buys, we're going to look for gold and GU sells, and we're still going to look for US30 buys as long as we don't break below and hold 44,650 as resistance. So we're going to see what this next 15 looks like. There's some nice rejection right there. I want to see it trace a little bit more. This is the same sell setup we went for on Tuesday. Game plan's the exact same. We'll hold 33, 34 as resistance. If yourself go back down to 33, 24, that's back down to the low 33, 15. So right here. Those just joining this trade, we have not into this trade yet. This trade idea. Let's see what this next 15 looks like. I do like that right there. Yeah, but we went live with the numbers during the 8:30 news yesterday. The 8:30, 9:45 news didn't really do too much as far as the markets are concerned. Again, most of the markets were just slow yesterday. They did some small moves last night during Tokyo session. We got retracements taking place right now. We do got 10 news later on today for USD pairs, so do keep that in mind as well. We got a new 15 about to pop up. We've been making nice little lows as well. It's literally been retracing in reverse this entire week. Right, so literally repeated what it did last time when I was at this level. Remember last week we was talking about this week we need to hold this lower support for the uptrend to continue. We got the higher high last week. Then we can see price this week. Failed to make a new higher high. Then reverse. And we were talking about sales yesterday. Ended up doing the move yesterday. It was just super chopping late. I wasn't on the charts anymore. So now we're looking for continued sales right here. So we can maintain the whole 34.20 as resistance. We can look for sales going back down to the lows here at 33.95. Or if we can break below the whole 33.95 as resistance, we can look for continued sales going to 33.70. We got some nice lower lows getting made here as well. So this is a nice spot right here. Look for continued sales. And I like this goal setter right here. So let's see if we can hold this low as resistance. I really like the GJ. Some nice retest. See if we can put it right here. Still pushing. There as well. Just gonna keep it on gold for now. We got our marks on our other charts, so any of the other charts or pairs try to make a move, we'll be notified before it even begins it. And like I was telling the members and students yesterday and yesterday's live, right? And like we talk about all the time, we've been talking about all week with TikTok lives. When you follow me on Instagram, TikTok, I see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Instagram playmaker underscore way, TikTok underscore way underscore. Like I'll be talking about in the TikTok lives, right? There's three cycles we're always going to be in. And the choppiness is part of the game. Whether you like it, love it, or hate it, you just gotta accept and understand it's part of the game. Right? It's not gonna be every day. Big moves happen, big volume. Right? That's not gonna be an everyday thing. So that's why every day is important to again do full analysis of the market structure so you understand exactly what's taking place, why things are happening or not happening, right? And again, sometimes you just can't take a setup, right? Like yesterday, there's nothing I really liked, right? The only chart that played out that we was looking for yesterday was GU, but that played out super late into the day. And then last night, gold did this small move. We traced and we can see for a continued sell, the same sell setup we report on Tuesday. Again, we'll some of the sell setup during the live yesterday. This was London session, price rejected, then pre-New York, price pushed down the low, but off the retest failed to hold, and the rest of the day was choppy, right? It didn't break back below this level until 11 going to midnight. Right, same thing with G right here. Then this moved to late last night, Tokyo session. And then again, US30 was just drop city yesterday. And then GJ, same thing, right? Repeated the same move it did during London session. But then again, after it pushed back up here, it was just consolidating the rest of the day, even last night. So we're still looking for possible buys here. If we can hold 199.15 as support, but as we can see here, price is kind of chilling right now. It was above it last night. Guys, still just trying to see, so just got to patiently wait. Let me see if it holds that resistance. It's not a big push back up, but let's see if it holds all as resistance right here. We talked about the earlier, even the blue cow, some work to it. Over every time, and we get past that much farther, right? But it, last time we're down, last time we're down, reverse, reverse, take that. Get that over on the road. We've been struggling to get the all-time high. We're also struggling to right? We're struggling with the all-time highs. We're also struggling to break past these levels and make consistent overloads. So every time we have down to the start, we get back to shop steady, try to get past the all-time highs, fail to do so. Downtrend, if the steady levels comes back up, goes with all-time highs. Now that's where we're at right now. Super chop. We're bearish, but you can see the super chop, especially compared to the last time we got it back to down so. Only coming with the lows, so actual lower lows are down for point of play, or we just need to take out these higher highs right here so we can see new all-time highs and entry continue. But until then, again, you can see what happens every time we're in this space with shoppings, right? So again, we see what's happening in the charts, we understand what keeps happening in these levels. So again, we gotta understand that, and we just gotta wait for the price to break down again. What do you guys think? So let's see if we can close out this resistance. Just check right here. You guys got any questions? Drop them in the chat. When starts dropping in the chat, but you already know the drill. We're just chilling, patiently waiting. Yeah, that's a nice rejection right here. 5 minute popped up. Yeah, I like this rejection. So we can hold this low as resistance. We're gonna look for the exact same sell setup we went for on Tuesday. US30 is pushing up as well. Again, we're still bullish on US30. Did a nice retest and these are the all-time highs. Kind of similar situation with GJ. Price rejected, level rejected, rejected. Failed to hold that support, rejected. But we are still bullish right here. The bonds will maintain 44.10 as support. We're gonna look for buys come back up to 44.930, but it needs to hit a 44.950 as support. Four new higher highs to come together. Right now, we've been super choppy all week. Right, this was Monday, Chop City. Tuesday, did a nice move. Wednesday, Chop City. Yesterday, Chop City. We're gonna see what happens for volume in the week. But I do like this bold projection right here. I do like this bold projection right here. Appreciate those like the live. Make sure you like the live if you haven't already. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. We just hit 3,800 subscribers, just 3,850. Just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday. Got a new video dropping for y'all later on today as well. Make sure to have y'all's notice on. You're gonna look out for that. Good. As long as it doesn't take off right here, I'm gonna look for a sell in this next 15. Looks like the market is trying to back up a little bit. Again, we do got US news at 10 a.m. later on today. And very interesting to see how that's going to affect US30, gold, GJ. I'm looking to see some action, some volume coming in today with those charts. Let's see this next 15 looks like. New 15 just popped up, so that's a nice retest rejection. maintain as low as resistance like it did last night. I do like this setup right here. Looks like GP is going to try to do something as well. Yeah, so we got some action. We got some action about to pop off right here. I like this gold setup. Let's with this gold setup. Get them dropping now. Let's see if we can take out these lows right here. Okay, that's a nice drop. Got a little bit of work to do though. Yeah, we retraced on Wednesday. We maintained the same resistance level we took the Monday sell off of. We also last night held as low as resistance. But yesterday and last night, we failed to break back below 33.24. So that's what we're going to be looking to see. We need to have that level of resistance for the down to continue by doing like these for sales right here. I like US30 and GJ as well, but they still got a little bit of work to do. So GJ's going to try to push back up. Again, if GJ can hold 199.15 as support, we can look for buys going back up to the highs at 199.65. And with US30, if we're going to hold 44.810 as support, we can look for buys going back up to 44.950. You can look for sells as well. Two areas, either it's going to retrace and retest 34.20. You look for sells going back down to 33.95, but holding break below 33.90. Hold that resistance, you look for continued sales going to 33.70. So we got a lot of setups this morning. There are a lot of potential setups this morning. Again, US30 and GJ in particular need some volume for these moves we're looking for to take place. Gold does as well. Let's see if we can hit TP1. All right, we're about to hit TP1, y'all. Let's see if we can hit TP1. Oh, there go TP1. I looked up. We had TP1. That's what we're talking about. We got Gigi just broke this bubble as well. Let me go ahead and let the members know this is TP1. If y'all hopped in this trade with us, go ahead and hit that like button, y'all. You want to know all the TPs that's sell the projection. You already know what to do. Go ahead and hit that link. One advanced place signal. All right, TP1. Still got a little bit of work to do, but you're seeing green right now. You're seeing green right now. Got a new 5 minute about to pop up in a little bit. Nice drop right there. And then all we did was wait for price to come back to us. Again, we don't chase price. We follow the flow of price. Wait for price to come back to our ideal entry. Now we're catching the same drop that price did last night. Very simple, very simple. GK broke this low. Let's see if we can hold the support again. Still gotta take out this low here. Again, we got news at 10 a.m. today for the USD pair, so make sure to keep that in mind. And then we got almost at the Jackson 5. We got some shit going on. I don't know if that's enough, but we got some other shit going on as well. Got a new 5 minute about to pop up. GA is pushing back up. US30 still trying. I sound a little off. So I can fix that. I think I'm too far from the mic. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. Let me try to fix the mic. My bad, y'all. I didn't know it was sounding like that. All right, let's see if this sounds better. Test, test, test. That's what it is. Y'all know how I be streaming on YouTube. And then we just had a what you call it, not a sandstorm, a dust storm that just took place. Like, it ended an hour ago. But yeah, so we're in profit right now. Those are just on the screen. We're in profit right now. We're approaching TP2. Let us see if we hit TP2. TP2 is right here. We see the green line now. And we're also watching GJ to see if we can close that support. We got a new 5 and 15 about to pop up in a little bit. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When you charge, drop them in the chat. Man, gold's doing his thing, y'all. Gold's doing his thing. US30 is pushing. Again, if it can hold 44.810 as support, you look for buys come back into 44.8, not 44, 44.950. GJ push as well. Hit that like button and subscribe, yo. Hit that like button and subscribe. Look at pushing. This is why you got to stay cool, calm, and collective. Review your trades, review the charts, and trust your analysis. Right? Again, we didn't have a 90% win rate last quarter for no reason. 83% win rate or 89% win rate last month, right? So losses are part of the game, but if a loss happens and you're following your rules, never assume it's because, unless you know you did something wrong, never assume it's because you went for the wrong move or your strategy just doesn't work, right? Because nothing's 100%, right? You don't have 100% win rate on a week for 2 weeks. But again, if you look at the monthly and quarterly recaps, we still on average use 2 to 4 trades a month, which is still not bad. 2 to 4 trades a month is still not bad, right? But again, if you're going with the flow of price, you're always going to most likely have the trades go in your favor. Like I always tell members, any time we're wrong is not when we're wrong. We're never wrong, right? The only time I should say we're stop loss gets hit, either because we got caught in reversal or the volume, right? Which is two things we cannot control, right? The trade we took on Wednesday, went for the right setup, right? Same exact thing game plan went for Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday, it was just low volume, and we got caught in the reversal, right? Today we did the exact same thing. We were literally going for the exact same move we talked about on Tuesday. Waited for the retest. It was pushing. Again, so again, you just gotta trust your analysis and just keep on going, right? But this is also why, again, even when you have these win streaks, you don't want to get cocky and start breaking your rules, over leveraging, and all this dumb shit, right? Because when those losses happen, you rather, again, you don't want to take a big loss and cancel out those wins doing dumb shit. You get what I'm saying? But we just hit another TP, looking at the numbers now. Again, if you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When we're looking at charts, drop them in the chat. We just hit TP3 right here. Again, last night and yesterday, we failed to break past this point. So we're going to need to break past this point for a new lower low to get made. GJ's pushing. US30 is doing a retest. What the hell happened to my music? Oh, there it goes. It's a nice drop right. It's a nice drop right there. Yeah, that's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. So nobody should close these trades red. All right, if you close these trades red, you don't like yourself. You want to end the week on a bad note. Nobody should close this trade red. Okay, we have multiple TPs. We're up a lot of pips and points. Nobody should close this trade red. I got my SL on profit. Shout out to those that's in the live awake. And if you're watching this recording, shout out to y'all too. This way, I gotta wake y'all's asses up sometimes. Like setups during running session. Sometimes it is, right? US30 is trying to retest this level right here. GG push. 5 minute just popped up. So again, for price to go any further and for a new roll low to get made, we need to break past this point here at 33.24, and we need to hold that back at least. Yesterday morning, we rejected that level last night, literally right before London session. Same area was rejected. Let's see if we can take this roll out right here. What's going on, Chris? So yeah, me and the members and those in the live, we're in this goal setup right now. We took this earlier, so rewind to about what time right now? 3:53. So rewind like 25 minutes. You can see this breakdown of this. We'll retest the whole thing. But for GJ, yes, we're looking for buys. So if you remember yesterday we had the 430 news pop off, and I was talking about if we can maintain the whole 194.55 support, which is bullish, right? But we needed to 199.15 as support for the uptrend to come back into play and continue. Just like how the day before yesterday, price fell to hold up that support. And the day before yesterday, Tuesday, it also fell to hold that support. Again, this is why I tell you not to chase price, but again, just patiently wait for the highest probability setup, right? Which is why my sell idea was down here and not here. Because again, like I told y'all yesterday, this is the last line of defense for the bullish momentum. So look what happened yesterday going into New York session. This was 930 candlestick. So how many people do you think went for sales here yesterday during New York Open? How many people y'all think went for sales here yesterday? A bunch. Right, but again, look at that big push back to the upside. Why did that happen? Because again, the downtrend did not come into play yet, right? So again, to answer your question, we are looking for buys. So we're going to hold 199.15 as support. We're going to be looking for buys going back up to 199.65. But for the uptrend to come back into play and continue, we're going to need to maintain and pull this level back as support at 199.65 like we were last week. But we are looking for bonds on GJ. Also, keep in mind that we do have news at 7 a.m. later on today. Not 7 a.m., that's my time. 10 a.m. for y'all at USD later on today. So do keep that in mind as well. We got US30 pushing. Yeah, you could call it that, but it's deeper than just the sweep of liquidity. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit deeper than that. It's just how the markets work. I made a video talking about that, right? So I want you to watch this video if you haven't already, and you'll see what I mean by that. Where's the video? I dropped it like a couple weeks ago. All right, so oops, let me drop this in the chat. All right, so that's just one part of the story. But where this liquidity is at, I talk about it in the video, right? But this is what I be talking about in the TikTok lives. We should be going. We didn't go live yesterday. Should be going live later on today though. But it's like I talk about on the TikTok lives. And again, like I said, y'all do not be tuning into the TikTok lives. Y'all be missing out on some serious free game. I'm telling y'all, we be breaking shit down. And to be a lot more active on TikTok, I might start double streaming on London session on TikTok and YouTube as well. But the New York lives on TikTok, we be having a lot of good questions asked. It'll be bumping in there. I ain't gonna lie. It'll be a lot of free game, right? So price is always going to be, and this is for any and every time frame, right? This is for any and every time frame. Price is always going to be in one of these three cycles. Within one of these three cycles, there's always candlesticks and patterns that everybody knows. Every candlestick pattern is within one of these cycles, and most of those candlestick patterns are in every one of these cycles, right? So the three cycles is an uptrend, downtrend. This one has a bunch of different names of the same thing. Consolidation, sideways market, liquidity, aka low volume. Okay? So liquidity, if you watch that video I just dropped, right? Watch that video, you will see that liquidity most of the time is price struggling to either A, continue the current trend it was in, until volume picks up, or B, or actually not just B, but overall, it's probably struggling to break that resistance level that it's above, and it's also probably struggling to break the support level that's below it, right? Which is why a lot of times when price comes back to these liquidity levels, it'll reject and continue to push down or push up, is because again, these liquidity levels are on support resistance levels, just like right here. This isn't just liquidity or orders chilling, it's literally price struggling to break above this resistance level here. Because again, look at this choppiness here. It's doing the same exact choppiness right above this level. And then you see when price, again, people say this is a liquidity sweep. Look at the rejection. The rejection is the same area that price is stuck on the support level, right? Same thing right here. Right? This was before this liquidity became liquidity, right? Or even formed. Price again rejected the same level that price was at right here, right? And just like how we see last night, price did this choppiness right on the same level. We go to the left. Members, you know I say this all the time. You look to the left, it's going to explain what's happening in the present. It could potentially happen in the future. Price is the same exact choppiness is doing, or it did last night, on the same exact level Tuesday. You get what I'm saying? So, same thing right here, right? This thing just happened and it formed. Look where it formed at. As we did a drop, then we got volume. The volume died down. And look what happened when the volume picked up. It went back with the lower price, right? And if we stop looking at it as simply just liquidity and we go back to what was breaking down right here, 3 cycles, right? We had here, right? The downtrend, we got the lower low, lower high, a little bit of choppiness. Price attempted to make a new lower low. We got the choppiness, the consolidation. And then guess what? When the volume came back in, the downtrend continued, right? So it's a lot deeper than that, right? That's why a lot of times, again, I talked about this in a live stream yesterday. Or no, it was I should have screenshot. There was this dude on TikTok, right? And this was a couple days ago. I think it was on Tuesday. And again, if y'all been in the live streams, y'all know I've been saying NAS has been bearish. NAS is reversal, right? If we could look at NAS100, right? If we go look at NAS100, we gotta go to my market chart. Let's just go to the naked chart. If we look at NAS100, we can clearly see even before yesterday, right? So let's just rewind to again. So this was like on Tuesday, right? This was Tuesday. So again, we have our high, oops, we had a we had a higher high. Again, if you got the playbook, you got the rules of the uptrend. Let's pull out the rules of the uptrend. For those that don't got the playbook, let's pull out the good book really quick. All right, so when we pull out the playbook, link in description. What is the rules to the uptrend? In order for the uptrend to continue, we need to break past the previous high, which gives us a new higher high before below. We also have to respect the support level, the higher level is resting. So again, for the uptrend to continue, we need to break past the previous high, aka turn that resistance level into support, which will give us a new higher high, right? So when we look at 100, this higher high, right? What comes after higher high? Higher low, okay? And then Monday, this green candlestick, for uptrend to continue, we would have had to what? Make a new higher high, break past this high, which we clearly see priced, right? Also broke past this higher low support level. Again, this is why I said there's no coincidence in the market. Look at where this higher high was made, higher low to the higher high was made. Look to the left, right? Look at this shit right here. This is what I mean by there's no coincidences in the market. This same level that's being treated as resistance, price used the same level as support to make a new higher high. So before this higher high was made, this was the previous higher high. We had a reversal, and then look how price turned this resistance level into support, making a higher high, right? So, like the playbook says, we also have to respect the support level the higher low is resting on, right? The support level, higher low, right? Higher high, higher low. This is the support level. For the next higher high get made, we have to break this resistance level, turn it into a support level. So when we hit the play button, this is what price did on Wednesday. So we already broke past this support level, right? And this is what price did on Wednesday. So again, we can clearly see bearish momentum, right? We can clearly see bearish momentum. We failed to make a new higher high on Monday, and we had a big drop happen on Tuesday. So we see clear bearish momentum. And this isn't necessarily you, but a lot of people that just trade off of patterns or all these candlesticks, they forget the big picture, which is, again, what is the direction price is going, right? What is the actual direction? What is the flow of price, right? So the dude went on TikTok, and the dude has hella followers. This post got viral. A bunch of people just saying a bunch of shit in the comments. But he was like, for those that took NAS100 sales, right? And let me tell you the NAS100 sell he's talking about. Let me show you. I actually talked about it whatever day. Y'all know I'm terrible with days. Whatever day this shit happened, I'm about to show you. We're about to go to the chart, right? And if y'all was in the TikTok live, y'all remember. Yes, I gotta start recording the TikTok lives, right? And so the sell setup in question was this sell setup right here. This was a sell setup in question. So again, Monday we failed to have a higher high get made, right? Tuesday we had a big ass reversal. So even on the smaller time frames, we see clear bearish momentum. We see clear support levels getting turned back into resistance levels. All right, support levels getting turned back into resistance levels. This is also the same level we went for sales on earlier this week, right? Same exact level. So this was the sell in question. He was like, for those that took this sell setup, how do you know that we was bearish on NAS100? And he proceeded to say, because I don't know the shit, but he was like, because the FEG or the something something, he named like three different shits, right? He was like, I saw this, and this, and I saw this FEG, and I saw this IF, whatever, but it didn't show bearish. So how did y'all go for sales? And then everybody in the comments was just saying these terms and shit. But in reality, if we just keep it simple, we had bearish momentum. So again, if price can only do one of two things, go up or down, and if we're going to put our hard earned money on the line, what would make the most sense to go for on a Wednesday when we saw all that night and London session? We turned another support level into resistance, and literally right before the 9:30 open candlestick, we was chilling right here. So again, what would have made the most sense to go for buys or sells, right? It's not because of a double top or FEG or order block. It's literally because we're bearish, so we're going to look for sell, right? We turn the support level into resistance. And I say all that to say, if you just keep trading simple, not only will you avoid all these fake outs, including because again, if we go to at the end of the day, these fake outs and including these people talk about is because they're chasing price and these candlesticks, right? It's just like again, if y'all was alive, I think this was Monday, yeah, Monday this week. We're looking for buys, right? But when London session popped off, price rejected this level. And I said, we're still looking for buys. Why? Because we was bullish, right? So then what happened after this? Price chopped here and then pushed up. And again, look at where this choppiness is playing at, right on this key price level. So again, if you don't watch that liquidity video, I dropped in the chat. Make sure to drop that. Watch that in the chat because again, a lot of this stuff is a lot simpler than you think. Just like right here, look where this is playing at, right on this level, right? Same thing happened here. Did a big drop. All these ICT and all these other people, oh look, that's that candlestick. Time to go for sales. But again, we went for buys because what? At the end of the day, we're in an uptrend, right? There's why when the volume picked up, which direction did it go? To the upside. A lot of people would have saw this and we went for sales, right? So again, it's a lot simpler than all this shit, right? I promise you, it's Friday. Just spend the weekend watching my trade regulars and watch that video and look at the charts, right? Again, it's literally these are the only three cycles right now. Uptrend, consolidation, is the reversal, trend came back into play, right? So again, this is the liquidity, right? So again, why did price do this right here? Because again, here's that photo. Rejection reversals happen, the reversal of the only mean transformative change. As long as price doesn't turn the support level into resistance and don't make a low, we're still in the uptrend, still looking for winners, right? So price broke the support level, but guess what? It never held it as resistance, which is why price smacked through it and continue the trend it was currently in, right? Again, consolidation, uptrend continue, consolidation, uptrend, downtrend. That's all price ever is in, right? Uptrend, downtrend. Because again, price Doesn't price moves candlestick by candlestick. There's not a specific candlestick that determines what price is going to do overall. And then the smaller time frames only explain what price is doing at that exact moment. That current candlestick you're looking at is only showing you what price is doing at that exact moment. At the end of the day, price is ultimately going up and down. And one candlestick doesn't determine if we're going up or down, especially it's that kind of 5 minute candlestick, 1 minute candlestick, right? Price moves in transit cycles, right? So again, it's a lot simpler than all this. I promise you, spend the weekend understanding how price moves, watch those videos, and you realize it's a lot simpler than all that other shit. It's literally just price moves in those 3 cycles. Figure out which one of those 3 cycles you're in. That's going to tell you not only what price is going to ultimately be doing that day, but for the week, but it's also going to tell you what to go for, right? Buy or sell, right? Which one you're going to go for. And again, that's how I'm able to at the beginning of the week, in the Sunday chart analysis, or at the beginning of the day, before the news pops off, before the New York session, I'm able to give an accurate analysis to the price points of what I see price doing every single day. That's because, again, I'm going with the flow of price. I'm not looking at a certain candlestick to go for a pattern of the flow of price. Again, what did we talk about yesterday? We were looking for sales here yesterday. Price took a quick drop, then chop silly the rest of the day. Right? Now we're in the same exact sales setup we talked about yesterday. Right? You know, Tuesday's live stream, we talked about this gold setup. We was looking for this during the London session live, but it didn't play out till the New York session, right? And again, still played out, hit these levels perfectly. Same thing with Monday, right? Monday, we had this take place, and even in the London session open candlestick, we had price reject, but we still went for sales. Why did we still go for sales? There was no liquidity here, nothing like that. We went for sales because that is the trend we was in. Which is why, again, we had a little bit of choppiness, but when price turns a little bit to resistance, and when that volume kicked in, that's why I pushed to the downside. Right? That's also why I was able to talk about price doing what it did here yesterday. We were able to talk about this playing out on Monday, this playing out last Thursday, went out last US30. I'm able to give you accurate analysis before news, after news, during news. Because again, once you understand which one of those cycles we're in, there's only a couple movements or actions price can take from that point. Right? So again, this is why we go with the floor price and enter into these levels, because when we have these levels marked up, as well as we're going with the floor price, not only do we know the best places to enter and exit at, but we also prepare for the next direction and push to the upside or downside. Again, we took this trade last week on Wednesday. We entered this on London session. Price went up all London session. Again, not coincidence with the 9:30 open candlestick started right at this level, and then you can see it's not coincidence that price did this push and then started consolidating at this level, right? And it's not coincidence that price did the next push and then started consolidating at this level, right? It came back to this level, right? So again, it's so important to understand how price actually works. And by the way, if anyone took the US30 set we was talking about earlier, y'all should be in profit. Let's see what GJ is talking about. GJ is pushing slightly as well. And then we can see gold is still struggling where we were talking about, right? Again, like we talked about before we even came to this level, we need to break past this level for price to continue to push. So again, y'all, we got news at 10 a.m. US30 is already doing the setup we was talking about earlier in the live. So shout out to those that got into this. Like we was talking about earlier, we'll go for 810 as support. We're going for buys for 950. We need to hold 45.950 as back as support for the higher highs to come and for us to continue buys from the 45.60. Gold, we took this setup. We already know the game plan is for that. GJ did a retest. Again, if we go hold 1910 as support, 1915 as support. We're going for buys going back up to 1965. But same thing with US30. We need to hold this level as support for that uptrend to come back into play. Right? And on a bigger scale, you look at GJ. All right, same thing. Same thing. We had this. We go back in time, and we talk about this in the TikTok laws a few times. We might talk. Whoops, we might talk about it again today. Go back in time. You have seen 3 cycles prices, and look at price right here. Which one of these cycles? Uptrend, downtrend, consolidation. We're in the uptrend, right? You see clear higher highs getting made. You see clear push to the upside getting made, right? So we're in the uptrend. So that means what? That means we're going to look for buys because again, price can only do one or two things: go up or go down. Trading is about going for high probability, high quality setups. So again, just using simple logic. If I'm looking at price right here, and we see that we're in an uptrend, not thinking about anything else, just using simple logic. If we're in an uptrend, what makes the most sense to go for? Buys or sells? Buys, right? Hopefully everybody says buys, right? So that means we're going to look for buys. Now, why does it make the most sense to go for buys? Well, we look to the left, we see way bigger moves going to the upside than the downside, and it moves to the upside lasting longer to the downside. So I'm going to put my hard-earned money on the line. What makes the most sense to go for? Bigger move, right? So, boom, you know we're looking for buys. But not only do we need to know we're looking for buys, we need to be prepared and know exactly all the possible moves price can make next, right? So then that is where the rules of the uptrend come into play. So again, look to the rules of the uptrend. Where's the rules of the uptrend say? It says in order for the uptrend to continue, we need to do what break past the previous high, which gives us a new higher high. Also, can respect the support level, the higher low is resting. So again, we got to break this resistance level, the higher high is at, but also respect the support level, the higher low is at, right? We should do this right here, right? We have the higher high, higher low, higher low. And for those that have never been at TikTok live, this is why these levels are red instead of the blue levels, because this is not how I mark up my key price levels. You look at this chart and see I'm not marking up higher highs. This is not the same way I mark off my key price levels. I'm just visibly showing you where the highs and lows start and end down. So, again, for the uptrend to continue, we need to do what? We need to break this resistance, turn it into a support. Right? Only way the downtrend or we look for sales is if we turn this support level into resistance. Sells off resistance, buys off support. Right? Sells off resistance, sells off resistance, resistance. Oops. Let's go back to GBPJPY. Okay, so it's US30. US pushing too. Buys off support. Buys off support, right? GBPJPY pushing as well. So yeah, I took US30, I should be up on that. We're up on gold. GJ, I took GJ, I should slightly move on that. All right. So again, let's back to the world. You see price retrace. Again, if it holds as low as support, it's still bullish. Right? But if it breaks the support level turns to resistance, it's bearish. Right? If it broke that level, retest to turn to resistance before the drop happens. Right? And then when you get a retest, they get more retest resistance. And again, do not do this right here, which is why price is now trying to reattempt to hold this level as support. Again, you see this happening. And that's why price pushed up, made it high. Because again, you need to hold this low as support, break this resistance, and make a new higher high. Again, rejections, reversals happen. Reversal is always going to change. And this price has turned support level into resistance and going to make it a little low. We are still in uptrend, still only looking for buys. The price turned this level from support to resistance? Nope. Did we see a lower low get made? Nope. This is why the previous trend came back into play, right? And now we see what? Price attempting to turn this resistance level into a support. But let's hold that thought. We just had a little bit on. It's like goals going to try to put the next TP for us. US30 is freaking flying. You should hit that like button, y'all. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. We just hit 3,800 subscribers. Let's get to 3,850. Right? So then this is when that liquidity gets formed. Again, like I talked about in that video, the liquidity is literally just low volume and price struggling to break the support level it's formed and break the resistance level it's above. Right? And that's what's currently going on right now. We see price, we touch that level, it's trying to hold us in the next support, and we're attempting to make a new higher high. So that's literally what's going on right now. Let's see what this next TP. Those joining the stream, we're in this trade right now with the members and students, or if y'all wasn't live, we have this trade live, just rewind to like the first 20 minutes of the live. You'll see us break this down. Also wait for the retest. We have a nice. We're into one right now. We also broke down this US30 setup that's going as projected. BJ slowly going as projected. So we're 3 for 3 right now on the day. And then we're just breaking down some stuff, market structure and stuff like that. Again, like I said, nobody should be red or in this trade red. Deep in profit, we had multiple TPs. Make sure to hit my first link in the description. Join the free signal for your Telegram. I see you on the screens how we did last month and last quarter. We are 3-1 this week. We didn't take a trade yesterday. We took a W Monday and Tuesday, took an L on Wednesday, didn't take a trade yesterday. And we're in this bull trade right now. So we're 3-1 this week. We were 7-0 last week. So the win streak did end. We were on 2 win streak. But 6-0 before that. Then 5-1 before that. If you go to August 1st, you'll see how we ended July. July was at 17.2, gives an 89% win rate. And then you click right there and you go to July 2nd, you'll see how we ended Q2. April was 16.1, cost 68,765 pips. May 19.1, cost 1,162 pips. And then June was 17.4, cost 17,347 pips. And in the quarter 52.6, and a 90% win rate, plus a total of 19,274 pips. Earnings literally gave you time to document it, just like today. We break down the setups, and if the setups play out and live, just like today. Let's look at the day of the day, recap the week of every week, and we get the end of the month and quarter. Go to where it says subscribers, there's over 1,800 photos of receipts of screen dispositions, shots and signals, as well as game results and testimonials. Make sure to put that link in the description. Check all this stuff out. Also, if you scroll to the beginning of the week and watch the Sunday chart analysis, you'll see that majority of the charts are going exactly as projected, just like they did last week. Like I always tell y'all, the Sunday chart analysis goes over next what we see price doing Sunday night going into Monday, but what we see price doing throughout the entire week. We're going to be on for a little bit longer, y'all. If you guys got any questions, drop them in the chat. When you look at your charts, drop them in the chat. But great way to start off the Friday and end the week. Again, we do got 10 AM USD news, so do keep that in mind. That is popping off 30 New York. We are looking at GU sales. Let's put that in. Yeah. GU sales. We was on the live stream yesterday. GU did the move we was talking about in yesterday's live. It just did it super late in the day. So I didn't take the setup, but it was rejected. And then it did a nice drop last night as well. Again, we was talking about this setup. Again, very classic standard setup. Support level that turned to resistance. Again, super choppy. This is why you go with the floor price, because even though it's low volume, you still have a higher likelihood of the trade going in your direction of favor. So what we're going to be looking for today is continued sales. So we can between 20 as a resistance. We're looking for sales going back down to 94.95. Not 33.95, and we have 33.90 as resistance. We can look for sales going down low at 30.70. So yeah, use sales as the game plan as well. And we'll slip off. Then y'all, we got to take those out. This is like we talked about. And again, why did we talk about this level? Because again, look to the left is going to explain what's happening in the present, what the potential happening in the future. I told y'all, price is the same as I think yesterday, like earlier. And like I said, if we can't break past this, what's happening in a lot of incidents, right? Again, this was important. I'm just going to lose the price. Because again, you'll be prepared and ready for anything and everything that can happen in the markets. And most importantly, no matter what price does, you'll be able to understand why it's doing it and you'll be surprised or shocked about it. Right? Again, we literally talked about this before these councils even formed. You know what I'm saying? It's slowly pushing, US30 is pushing. Again, y'all just dropped a new video for y'all yesterday. Make sure to check that out. The playlist, all playlists are up to date. Got a new Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana update dropping for y'all today as well. Because we have some nice retracements in the crypto. We dropped a new stock analysis for y'all last week. So make sure to check those out as well in the stock analysis playlist. Make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Y'all see it scroll at the bottom of the screen. _Ray, TikTok _Ray. Shout out to everybody in the live. Shout out to everybody in the live since the beginning. Shout out to those that jumped to the 30 setup. Shout out to those that jumped to the GJ setup or the gold setup. It's a nice red. Looks to be just an hour and some change. And that's not just including the entry, like you've seen all these other videos. That's including the waiting for the setup to come into us, as well as entering letting the trade play out. Again, if you're interested in how to identify these levels by student for a program, make sure to take advantage of this sale. The sale does end very soon. We're 20% off everything right now. If you want to contact me directly, you can DM me on the Telegram. Send all messages. Now, again, do not waste the weekend. Review y'all's trades, study up, because the weekend is not as long as you think, right? And again, you got to take advantage of the weekend to get ready for the next week. We're going to be reverting right back and doing the same mistakes you did this week and last week. We're going to be right back to square one next week. So, okay, y'all enjoy y'all's weekend.